How's it going, you guys? Chronicle Absolute. My name is Dion. First and foremost, happy Christmas Eve. That's what today is. Tomorrow's Christmas, God willing. I hope you get everything that you want, everything that you need, but more importantly, I hope that you are able to appreciate it in such a way that you recognize all the things that you were able to accomplish and those things that you survived from, right? With that being said, this video has taken a long time to upload. The reason being is because I did the video a year and a half, 2 years ago, I guess. And I wasn't entirely satisfied with it. And then from there, and you know, I was gonna redo it, but then I got a new job, and my new job, I didn't have the ability to kind of do it. So, but I finally did it. So this video here is about hoses and fittings. So you'll see that I'm talking about the fittings. That's when I actually drove, and then the other part is about the hoses, and that's when, you know, I still drive every once in a while, but nothing like I did before, right? So anyway, so that's just a quick explanation. I'm going to be mentioning a few things. First and foremost, please verify that you've got gaskets in your hoses out, as well as in your caps. Make sure that they're not dry rotted. Make sure that they're, you know, they're usable. You know, you don't want anything that's cut or it's got holes in it. You know, it's supposed to. It's the gasket inside of a hose or fitting does one thing. It makes sure that all the product doesn't seep out. So if it does that, you got a problem, you know. But yeah, so I'm in Georgia, and I know you can see all of the ice because it's starting to rain ice. So but yeah, let's go to the video. Hey, how's it going, you guys? It's Chronicle Absolute. Let's talk about fittings, right? You guys ready? I know that I can't think of the person's name, but you've been asked about fittings and hoses, so we're gonna take care of fittings right now, okay? We've got the 5 main ones that we normally use, okay? Let me get this right. Okay, we got the 3 to 3 male to male, 2 to 3 male to male, 2 to 3 male to female, 3 to 3 female to female. I believe this is 2 to 3 female to male. But anyway, these are the main 5 that we normally use. In fact, I would take it even further and say that this one, and then this one are fittings that I normally don't use. I normally use these, both of these, okay? In fact, after I got my Chronicle certification, for you guys, it should be about 6 months. For me, it took about a year because of some discrepancies in the computer. But after I got my Chronicle certification, I went to a few customers and found that that I needed doubles, and I was in a situation where I needed more than one of this, or I needed more than one of this one. Okay, so that's why I've got doubles of these. So you see these 2 in the back, same as that thing. You know, it might look slightly different, but it's the same as that thing. Okay. When it comes to you hooking up your fittings, make sure that you do. Really, what it comes down to is just a pre-trip. Okay, so you're just checking, making sure that your gasket is actually in there. You don't want to run into a situation where you are hooking up fittings and your hoses, and you find out in a very bad way that, you know, your gaskets aren't there. You know, so one way of just verifying that you have gaskets in there is just, number one, just look in there. Do you have a gasket? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then you're good. If the answer is no, put one in there. Done deal, right? Also, one thing that I do when I'm doing a delivery, I basically hook up everything, and then at some point, I'm just going to just kind of twist that hose and see if the hose or the fitting, if it kind of turns. If it turns, then more than likely I'm going to need a gasket, or I'm going to need a replacement gasket. Okay, These three I don't use as much. If anything, I'll use this one more than I use these. I'll use this one maybe twice a year, I guess. You know, I'm just guessing. I've used this one maybe once in the last year and a half, 2 years, and I've used this one never. Okay, I just never used it before. Okay, so we've got these 5 here, and then we've got those in the back. Let's bring those to the front. Hold on. All right, this, ladies and gentlemen, is an intermodal fitting. What does this go on? It goes on to an intermodal trailer. All right. Why is that? Well, the reason being is because our intermodal trailers, they are made for transport on both trucks via a chassis as well as a rail car, based in a nutshell. And in order to ensure that there's less damage to the discharge valve, that's the discharge valve is basically flush with a trailer itself. So there's nothing extending from the trailer. Since there's nothing extending from the trailer, then we need some sort of fitting to make our connections so that we can do the unload. And that's where this comes in at. This is a big thing. Now, one key thing to remember is that when you're using your intermodal fitting, understand that this is sitting at eye level. Okay, so it's eye level. We can see in there, right? Eye level. Okay. Be very careful with that. Reason being is because if you're running into an issue, if you have some sort of spill, whatever, that's at eye level. So be sure to make sure that you're using your safety glasses, and your face shield must be down. Make sure of that, you know, especially with this bleeder valve right here. Reason being is because if you by any chance run into a situation where you close this, that's kind of rough, that's kind of stuck, where you closed it, and for whatever reason you thought it was closed, and you found out during the unload that it wasn't closed all the way. Maybe it was just cracked just a little bit. Okay, so at that point you will expect pressure, or I'm sorry, product in there, but you might not expect pressure. And yes, even though this is this much, yeah, there can be product in there, but it's also pressurized. And so you actually take your Chicago cap off, all that pressure, all that product is coming out. Where is it going? It's going into your face. So that's why I stress that. Understand that this fitting here, it sits at eye level. Okay, and again, just make sure that you have your gasket in there. Right. Last thing we have back here in regards to fitting is a drumming nozzle. Okay, this is what we use when we go to customers that are filling up like say like a barrel. You know, this basically ensures that we're able to do the unload safely without spilling it everywhere. Okay, so you get your hose and fittings fitted on the back end right here. It flows through, and this right here is basically opens and shuts. You know, so you can turn it off when you need to. That's it. Simple, right? Simple process. All right, so this is an old hose. This is a 2-inch hose. I was able to have the shop actually to cut this up. This was damaged for whatever reason. So it's damaged, but it's good for my purpose. And this is what I will be using. So first and foremost, as you begin to lay your hoses out, what are you looking for? You know, you get to the customer, your first time there, you got to figure out what end goes where. What do? Right? So first and foremost, what I would normally do is start with the customer. In fact, I think with a Schneider National, you do start with the customer. You figure out what fittings that you might need, and then kind of work your way back to the trailer and or truck, you know, and then you go from there. But what I would suggest is that you look at your arms, right? So you see how these are coming down this way, and then these go up, right? So what you want to do is make sure that your arms are facing in the same direction, right? So let's do this. Let's take this apart. That right there. Look, same direction, right? That goes in, done deal, and it fits, right? So the only real problem that you need to do is to figure out what end goes where, starting from the customer's tank. That's it. And then once you figure that out, make sure that your arms are facing the same direction, right? Now, here's something that I would also do. So this is something that my old OSR used to mention. So as you hook up your hoses, one of the things that you want to make sure is that your hoses are actually secured, right? So you don't want them to come loose. And one thing that he used to say, and I'll shout him out, Greg, is can my 3-year-old open this? If my 3-year-old can open this, then something's wrong somewhere. I've got to fix it somehow, right? So what does he mean? Look at this here. See how loose this is? Right? It can come out. Now, the reason why this looks like that is because there is no gasket on the inside, so that's why it's loose, right? So first and foremost, as you begin to lay your hoses out, verify that you've got gaskets on the inside of your hose there, right? In this case, that's why it's loose. But however, there's times when you will have a gasket there, but the cam locks they're just loose. What do you do at that point? Well, at that point, what I would do that he also showed me, thank you, Greg. You get a seal, right? What do you use the seal for? Well, the seal essentially goes inside, right there, as far as you possibly can. Well, I don't know if it's gonna work on this just because the gas is not there, but we'll see. And then it sort of kind of works, but basically you're creating extra friction. Let me say this right. So as you're coupling up all your hoses and you tighten up your cam locks there, as they tighten over time, they kind of wear down, right? So as they wear down, they need a little something extra in order to make sure that they stay secured. And that's why you use the seal for. So the seal basically goes in there, and then it provides a little extra, I'll say friction, but I don't really like that word right now. But it just provides a little extra so that your cam locks will actually stay closed, right? And so you would do that as you connect all your hoses. One thing that I would do too, connect, tighten up both ends, and to make sure that they are actually secured, twist it. Twist it. If it twists, then you know for a fact that you're not secure, that you probably need to replace that gasket, if you even have a gasket. I've not actually looked at this gasket. I don't know if it'll come out or not. Let's see. It's kind of worn in there. I might not be able to get this one out. But if you connect all your hoses and as you twist, if it twists around, then you know for a fact that you're not secured. You will have a leak. So if it twists, you got a leak. So do all this as you connect. It's really what it comes down to is that you're doing a very quick pre-trip on the hoses and all of your connections, right? I think that's gonna be it, man. That's gonna be it. So that's just a quick, very basic tip on how to make sure that you don't have any leaks coming out of your hoses, because if you have one drop, it could be something depending on what you're hauling. If you're hauling glue or latex, it's not really a big deal, but then there's some other things where acid, that drops on the ground, it could be an issue, right? So it pays to do that quick pre-trip as you connect all your hoses. Make sure everything is in good working order, right? So anyway, until next time, you guys be good, be safe, and all that you do. Bye.